round up the usual suspects. We're looking for one man, and that man is supposed to be the most versatile rider in the world. To find him, 31 riders were invited to the Pôle Mécanique Alès near Nîmes in the south of France. Several world champions and winners of prestigious races all want to show that they are simply the best. So, it's the second edition of the Scorpion Masters with 5 rounds for this competition. Trial, Enduro Test, Supermoto and 2 races on the Pôle Mécanique's racetrack. For each competition, the winner collects 1 point, the runner-up 2 points, the third 3, and so on. And at the end of the day, the rider with the fewest points will become the 2011 Scorpion Master Champion. This year, 2004 World Trial Champion Takahisa Fujinami came to the Scorpion Masters. The Japanese rider knows that he'll have an advantage in trial, but he's eager to try his luck in the other disciplines too.
Yeah, sure, for good for the rider, no? For everything category, so trial, enduro, and road race and supermoto. So I want to test every category. So full number 1. This is sure for this event, no? So I'm very happy for coming here. So good motivation.
Great Britain is also represented with the presence of 3-time world enduro champion David Knight. The Manx man was injured this year, and for him the most important thing is to enjoy the event.
If you try to take it seriously and think, okay, I can win, then it's better just to have fun and just see what happens. Just go out there, try and enjoy yourself, and you know, it's like a bit of a party atmosphere, so it's nice just to go out and play, and yeah, it would be nice to win, but it doesn't really matter too much.
The 2010 Scorpion Masters champion fears no one, but does have concerns about the rhythm of the event.
Ce qui fait le plus peur, c'est de savoir si on va être capable de se mettre
The most difficult thing is to know if we'll be able to be immediately effective. There's no time to warm up. It begins straight away with the trial test, followed by the enduro test. For me, the biggest problem is that we can't warm up correctly. Takahisa Fujinami is the logical favourite in the trial test. Despite the efforts of organisers to make the track more difficult this year, the 2004 trial world champion flies over the 2 sections and takes the overall lead. The other 2 specialists, 2008 Junior World Champion Loris Gubian and former French champion Jerome Bethune, finished 2nd and 3rd respectively. Indeed, the stress can now be seen on the faces of the other riders. 2-time 24 Hours of Le Mans winner Julien de Costa does have some past experience with these conditions, and he finished 10th and 1st among the road racers in this test. It's difficult going though for Ludovine Puy, who falls in section number 2. Ludovine is a 2-time world enduro champion and is also the only woman competing in the Scorpion Masters this year. She's 27th overall after the trial test. For once, eccentric rider Serge Nuques chose a more conservative approach. His strategy is to select an easier line to avoid a fall, and Nuques took 6th place. Immediately after his run, Nuques returned to the trial test to support his mate Boris Chambon. We're not sure this is the best way for him to keep his concentration, but it is good for the spectacle.
Allez, Boris! C'est bon, t'es premier! Allez! Allez! Allez!
A special mention for David Knight. The Briton did a lot of trial riding when he was a young lad, and he hasn't forgotten how to handle a trial bike. He takes 4th place, just behind the 3 trial specialists. So 9th, 4th behind Betun, Germain and Fujinami. With just the time to change bikes, the 31 riders are ready for the Enduro test. This time, off-road riders are the men to watch, but trialists are generally pretty fast in Enduro as well. And Takahisa Fujinami is proof of that. He sets the 6th best time, despite a problem with his bike during the run. He was disappointed after a mechanical problem.
Hit the rear brake, so inside the brake and always for the touch the brake. So I don't know, just 2 minutes, started 2 minutes after making this. And I one time stop and I make outside the rear brake. So sure, 15 or 20 seconds more than normal.
The Enduro test is the opportunity for David Knight, the World Enduro Champion in 05, 06 and 2010 in Enduro 3, the largest engine displacement category. And he's 40 seconds faster than Fujinami. And yet, that wasn't going to be good enough to win this heat for David Knight. – 2009 Motocross MX3 World Champion Pierre-Alexandre René made the switch to Enduro a couple of years ago and finished 3rd in the Enduro World Championship this year. The Frenchman sets the fastest time on the Enduro test, 3.9 seconds faster than Knight. This was my category, so if I had to win one round, it was this one. But I had to give it all I had because David was very close. I was right to push hard. A 4-second gap after 9 minutes is nothing. I'm very happy. At least I'll have won a heat. While the majority of the riders rode on the same bike and tyres in the Enduro and Supermoto runs, 4-time World Supermoto champion Adrien Chareyre chose to ride the Enduro test with his Supermoto bike, which isn't as reactive. Despite the heavier bike, Chareyre set the 8th fastest time and moved up to 11th overall. The big surprise of the Enduro test is Moto2 rider Dominic Egerter. 6 days after his 3rd place in the season finale at Valencia, he takes the 13th fastest time here, which is none too shabby for a road racer. Meanwhile, the Enduro test was an extremely tall order for the other road racers. The award for the most spectacular crash goes to 125cc GP rider Alexis Mashbu.
I'm
not sure I'll come back if it continues like this. I don't even know if I'll be able to complete the day. Yeah, I'm having fun, but it's hardcore. The Enduro lads are crazy, as are the trial riders. So David Knight into the lead now, a point clear of Fujinami with Jeremy Jolly in 3rd. There were only a few minutes between the Enduro and road race qualifying. In the pit lane, three-time Dakar winner Cyril Desprez is an attentive spectator. He isn't competing in this year's Scorpion Masters with the start of the Dakar just a few weeks away, but he will race here sometime in the future. It's true that I would love to do this race, but Dakar is in a few weeks' time. Yesterday we rode the bike in Narbonne, and the bikes are going to leave France for Argentina very soon. I wanted to say hello to the French riders who are competing here this weekend. Runner-up in the 125cc Grand Prix this year, Johan Zarco is one of the most solicited riders. He injured his right hand at the season finale in Spain the week before, but he wanted to be a part of it, and he will ride in the road races. I have a burnt finger, so I prefer to only do the road races because I can ride on the track. But off-road, you have to hold the handlebars really hard. I have to make sure I'm fit because I have a 3-day Moto2 test next week. There are many well-known riders here, and to come here just to race amongst friends is really a lot of fun. This is a big challenge for the Frenchman. He'll ride a 2-stroke 125cc and try to win against the much faster 600 and 1000cc 4-stroke bikes. Yeah, I'd love to win. I want to ride a 125 because it's my category and because I'm more comfortable on this bike than on a 600. And to win would be a nice way to bring an end to the 2-stroke era. Zarco clinched the best time in qualifying and starts from pole for the 8-lap race. Also on the front row, Luca Marias, Julien Da Costa and Denis Boin. Off we go for 8 laps, and Julien Da Costa is surprised by Luca Marias taking the lead after just a few corners. Back into first place with his powerful machine. We'll have a look at the start again, and the little 125 of Zarco lacks some power at the start. We're on board with him, but Zarco recovers some places during the first few corners. Zarco moving past Denis Boin, and next in his sights should be Dominique Egerter. Zarco would soon go past the Swiss man, going on to take third place a few laps later. Further back in the pack, there's a battle between journalist Fabrice Lheritier on the 45 and Enduro test winner Pierre-Alexandre René on the 4. René takes 20th place, which is also where he finished in this race. With the track still a bit wet, Julien Da Costa on the 86 can't use all his engine power and is under threat from Luca Marias. This was a marvellous battle between Da Costa and Marias. Meanwhile, Denis Boin was 4th in front of Egerter and Serge Nuques. 10th overall coming into this race, Nuques moved up the overall order after taking 6th place during the first road race. In the traffic, Zarco lost ground, overtaken by Boin to move up to 3rd. No more changes in the final laps, and Julien Da Costa would go on for the win ahead of Luca Mahias and Denis Boin. We really had a good time. It was close because there were two young guns behind me, even if Denis not that young anymore. They're on smaller bikes, but they certainly put pressure on me. I kept a small gap to control the end of the race, but it was tricky with wet tyres on a drying track. So Julien Da Costa climbs to 5th place as David Knight keeps the lead ahead of Serge Nuques and Fred Bolle. The next challenge for the riders is the Supermoto race. The bikes and tyres are the same that were used for the Enduro test. 2009 US Supermoto champion Sylvain Bidard set the best time in qualifying. Start of the race for 7 laps. We're on board with the 4-time World Supermoto champion Adrien Chareyre, 5th on the grid. Chareyre finds himself 6th, tucked in just behind René. At the front, Bidard leads from Fred Bolle and Yves de Maria, 2 former motocross champions. Bolle, 3rd overall before the race, takes the lead and soon starts putting in a gap over the rest. Bidard has to fight hard for 2nd place against the challenges of de Maria. On lap 5, leader Bolle fell, leaving Bidard and de Maria to battle it out for the win. Once again, Dominique Egerter put on a show here. The Swiss rider fighting it out for 7th place against Serge Nuques. Nuques would eventually end up winning this particular battle. Adrien Chareyre takes 3rd place off Pierre-Alexandre René. And David Knight, the overall leader, would also manage to overtake René to finish in 4th position. On the final lap, Yves de Maria takes the lead and goes on for the win ahead of Sylvain Bidard. Chareyre is 3rd, David Knight 4th, and Pierre-Alexandre René 5th. After falling, Fred Bolle restarted to finish 8th, but he's very disappointed. I was leading quite easily. I was the most surprised to be in front, and I fell all on my own. I was a bit too optimistic, I guess. I wanted to go faster, and that's that. So David Knight has an 8-point lead from Serge Nuques and Adrien Chareyre. After his fall, Fred Bolle has undoubtedly lost any hope of winning. Race 2 will decide who is the 2011 Scorpion Masters champion. 8 laps, and Julien Da Costa on the 86 takes the lead in front of Denis Boin. Serge Nuques is already up to 3rd ahead of Luca Mahias, Dominique Egerter, Johan Zarco and Adrien Chareyre in 7th. Nuques makes a small mistake and is overtaken by Zarco, Nuques dropping down to 4th place. Further back in the pack, David Knight on the 101 is in a skirmish with 125cc GP rider Louis Rossi. Rossi went on to finish 14th, with Knight right behind in 15th. Even further back in the field, we see a fight for 22nd place between trial riders Jérôme Bethune and Loris Gubion. we're on board with Bethune. As the leaders catch the back markers, Denis Boin has a chance to put pressure on Julien Da Costa. But the Kawasaki rider is an endurance expert and knows how to handle traffic, and he maintains the lead. Da Costa hasn't won the Le Mans 24 Hours twice for nothing. With 1 lap to go, Boin tries to outbrake Da Costa, but Da Costa takes back the lead and goes on for the win. The happiest man, though, is Serge Nuques. He finished 5th, and with David Knight 15th, it means Serge Nuques is the 2011 Scorpion Masters champion.
Oh,
it's huge, a really good day. We enjoyed the entire day because this race is very well organised. They invited world champions and other great riders, but I'm not a rider, I'm a cavalier. I managed to win in front of all these great riders, thanks to everyone.
Poussez-vous, s'il vous plaît. Laissez-moi retrouver mon pied. Allez, les journalistes, on m'a toujours dit qu'il fallait arroser la presse si tu voulais avoir des interviews.
So Nuques ending up 2 points clear of David Knight, who finished level on points with Chareyre, Bollé in 4th, Da Costa 5th, followed by Marc, Germain and Sylvain Bidard, ahead of the spectacular Dominique Egerton. So Serge Nuques going into the history books, succeeding 2010 Scorpion Masters champion Adrien Chareyre and winning a Yamaha FZ8. He immediately uses it and then announces his retirement from competition.
Oh, it was
a big party out there. You have to be versatile, which I am. That was my strength today. It's a big race, pretty prestigious, but today I'm 40, I have kids. A little boy who rides bikes, he's already quite good, so maybe I'm going to go and help him now. David Knight finishes runner-up.
Long day, and we started this morning with the trial enduro, then the qualifying, road race, supermoto and road race. So it's been a long day, but it's been, you know, every event's been fun, and it's good to see so many spectators in the enduro. Everyone everywhere was cheering, and you know, it's awesome. So thanks for having me.
So a great conclusion to the 2011 edition of the Scorpion Masters. See you at the end of next year when David Knight will be out to finish first.